Call the meeting to order.
Jenkins.
Here.
Harden.
Here.
Hahn.
Here.
Testori. Kelly.
Here.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're going to go ahead and move the public comments to the very beginning, but before we do so, I'd like to read a public comment. I appreciate the passion that we are seeing in our community over the recent vandalism. My friends and family, our friends and family are the victims of a few punks. I want to see the perpetrators stopped with any and all legal means. I'm disappointed in our legal system concerning youths and believe reform is necessary to see real change in Illinois. I, for one, will make myself vocal. As you'll recall, we even looked into the legality of increasing punishment and ensuring payment here just last year. I believe that today's punks are tomorrow's career criminals who will do more than break a pot or smear a car. Lessons need to be taught early on. I'm encouraged to see residents take it upon themselves to set up a community watch program. What we need is family and friends watching for family and friends. I'm thankful for our police department. They live here. They love Farmer City. They are dedicated. With all of our problems, I am thankful that we live in a community that is worrying about vandalism and not shootings. I'm convinced that if we stand against the smalls, we may never need to stand against tomorrow's bigs. With that, we have 3 public comments. The first one on this evening is Mr. Tharp. You have the floor, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to know what happened to the rest of that TIF 1 money. What happened to it?
As in, return to the different bodies.
It has?
I'm looking at you.
We haven't had our audit yet, after the auditors get done with everything.
It is returned at that time?
Will be distributed, yes.
Okay. By law, it has to be redistributed back to the different taxing bodies. So we're waiting on, Larry just informed me that we're waiting on the audit to be finished, and after that is done, by law, it has to be returned to them.
Well, you know that. Second, it's Prairie Ridge you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Is that TIF 2?
It is tip 2.
Where did you get your information 24 years? Who gave you that information? And the city's responsible for all this. I want a copy of the annexation agreement because I was on the council at the time, and I do not remember the council agreeing to much of anything except their utilities. And I guarantee you, if it's 24 years, TIF it don't exist anymore out there. It's more like 17.
You were talking about the time that tip 2 has existed?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know that number.
I don't worry about 24 years. If that's the case, there's no more TIF 2. You got to return some money for this year because it's over.
Well, tip 2 is still in, is...
But I want a copy of that annexation
As
agreement.
to the promises, what we've done is we've looked into the contract, what was stated, and seeing what the city's responsibilities, and I'm not sure, I haven't read that particular article, I apologize. Is this referring to the
Playground. Yeah.
In the contract,
The other-
as we read it, the city was responsible for putting in.
The other part I've heard, I don't know about the doctor's office out there. Did they receive TIF money?
Yes, they did.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Do you know that is commercial zoning?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. TIF 2 is residential, not commercial.
Very good.
That is strictly residential TIF. It's not commercial. And I heard somebody else commercial got some money out of it. And no, not. It's commercial.
As I
I'll tell you
recall,
what, you guys are going to wind up, and they're going to wind up with a damn lawsuit, what you're going to do.
Could I ask who the other party was commercial out there that got some money? Because that's the only commercial that's out there. So who's the other one?
Well, I heard Scott Whitehouse got some.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think he was denied.
Well, that's
I might be wrong.
Well, that's good. But I'm telling you, that doctor's office, that's ain't commercial. That's all commercial out there.
That'd be something I will be looking into, but thank you, sir.
If you look at the map, you'll find out, if you got one left, I don't know, they used to have one in here, but it's probably gone now. But I do want a copy of that annexation agreement.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
The next public comment is from Morris. You have the floor, young lady.
I mean, I have to say everything I just wrote down.
No, you don't. Just speak from your heart. That's probably the best way.
Yes, there's been lots of talk on Facebook and
Did you want to
venting.
know?
Yes. I thought you were going to read it. Can I get up here? Does it matter?
And introduce yourself.
I'm Jessica DeMars. I live here. I was on the Farmer City Heritage Days Committee. I chair the Blue Ridge PIE, Secretary of Boosters. I don't know, neighbor. Okay, so here's what I wrote off the top of my head, mind you. I'd like to propose a way, I do not have an answer for that part, to work with the police department and determine what barriers they are having with holding youth accountable. If we need city ordinances or laws written, like curfew, community service, etc., if we need to stand with them on a county level to help the families of fellow citizens feel that justice is in process. So, we do want some answers. I know we can't get everything laid out to us, and I understand there's privacy laws, totally get that. My dad was a cop, retired after 30 years, I totally understand. But if we need to stand with, if there's a bigger problem, if they're doing what they need to paperwork-wise and they're hitting roadblocks, then we need to help out. We need to write letters, we need to get things changed. So we need to stand with, because that's the only things we're going to get done. And if it's not that, then people want answers.
Yes, I do. Thank you. Thank you very much.
And very good job at Heritage Days too. Thank you for all the work you've done on that.
Oh, thank you.
The next public comment comes from Matt Light. Sir, you have the floor.
Yeah, so I'm a very new resident to Farmer City, moved here in December.
Welcome.
My concern is vandalism and everything that's going on. My concern mainly is information. I get hearsay, I get rumors from neighbors. All of a sudden I'm told 3 days after everything, it's like, hey, you might want to start turning your lights on, making sure everything's locked up, which I make sure stuff's locked up, but I'm like, why am I hearing this via rumor? Why am I hearing this, why am I not hearing it in a mailer or in is there a website that is there part of the council website or some other way of getting information and saying, hey, there are break-ins happening, everyone needs to be taking precautions. I never heard that except through rumors. Heck, I didn't even know if the rumors were true until the paper kind of alluded to one happening during the Heritage Days, which I understand that situation's been handled, or is being handled. But it sounds like there's a more pertinent situation happening here, and I agree with the letter that was read earlier, that we need to, as a community, take action with it and watch each other. And thankfully, I have great, awesome neighbors, and I try to take care of them in the same way that they're taking care of me. But I think information is key. I understand what you said. It's like, there is information I'm not privy to. That's fine. But if I can at least have a warning saying, hey, listen, we're looking at break-ins between the hours of 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. We're looking at these areas of the town has been affected. Everyone needs to be on their guard. I'm not getting that kind of information as a homeowner. I would hate to see an awesome youth that has a future in front of them get beat to death, shot to death, or anything else. And that's a very real possibility. I would say a majority of this town probably owns firearms. And if that doesn't weigh heavy on your own consciousness, it weighs heavy on mine. The idea that I could put a 16-year-old or whoever it is, assuming age here, that I could shoot someone who's in my house or break it into my shed or doing vandalism to my property. I mean, I don't want to have to do that. And I trust the officers. I know the officers are doing their job. I know they're handling things on their end, but the reality is I need information as much as the rest of the community does. And that, I'm more here for a petition of how can we get information into the hands of the citizens that's usable, that's, you know, that we can be like, all right, hey, we need to be watching out for this kind of car. You know, if it's that, you know, if it's that kind of a deal. But, is there a monetary number of damage? Because I've heard $500,000 floating around as a number.
On what?
As far as the amount of damage that's been, that's occurred in the last couple of months.
I haven't heard a number like
Okay.
that. I haven't heard.
I've heard $500,000. That seemed awfully high, but
I think that's
hey,
pretty high.
that's rumor mill. So
Don't go there.
I'm not trying to point fingers on that one. I'm just vocalizing what I've heard
I
via.
disagree with you about some sort of early warning system. That's one of the reasons why I like the neighborhood block as well too, because quite frankly, neighbors can sound the alarm
Yeah.
a lot faster than, you know, by the time your local officials have heard it, sometimes it's already in the past. I've seen the community watch program at least getting information out as it's happening. So,
Is there a person that heads up the community watch program?
here is the first thing sir, where are you from?
I live in
No. Where were you originally from?
I live in Camargo.
Okay. Here's a fact. Next summer, I'm warning you now, about June, vandalism is going to happen again. And it's consistent. No, I'm just saying. I'm saying that watch out for it. I mean, you're right. It just, every summer, when school gets out and the nights are getting longer, we've seen it consistently every year. We live in a community that has, you know, if you look at the statistics, education statistics and poverty statistics, sadly we're a little high there. And when you have those type of statistics, you have what follows some criminal activity.
Correct.
So I don't know what it was like in Farmer City 20 years ago, and I live here. My friends and family that live in this community tell me, hey, it was a wonderful, safe town. I can't say that that's ever going to happen again. I just don't know. I don't know when the power plant closes and the value comes down. I mean, you want to talk about talking to your state senator and everything like that, you know, or trying to get them to pass some legislation that's going to that will help us. There you go. But if that thing closes down and property values drop, and we have 22 new houses open next year, and we have even lower income coming in, it could get worse. We could be ran into a smaller size rantor. So I'm familiar with that. So again, I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
I hate it. So, you know, every morning I wake up and go outside looking to see what damage could have been done to my car. I mean, our police officers were vandalized this last time because they enforced the law. Somebody went out and vandalized it. I hate it. I think they're punks and I want them stopped. That being said, I want to shoot them. Please don't shoot R16.
Well, I don't plan on it.
I understand what you're saying, and I understand the passion. So you're coming into a community that hates it just as much as you do. And you're right. We are looking into, I did meet with the chief, and I have met with the city manager, with another city council member. We talked about different sites and what have you. We'll communicate that. I want to make sure that we don't overstep any legal bounds and what have you. But sir, welcome to Farmer City. Thank you for your passion. So everyone that spoke, very good. Thank you. On that, we are finished with public comments, and I apologize if I said things that I shouldn't have said. We'll do that a lot. We move on to section 1, the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Scott seconded.
Jenkins,
Call it, yes.
Hahn,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Testori,
Yes.
motion carries.
We move to section 2, unfinished business.
These were tabled.
These were tabled, yeah, so let's, do we have to make a motion to untable these, or?
No,
Okay,
there was maybe a little miscommunication on my part. These really are ordinances,
okay,
and you don't need to take any action on the prior resolutions. You just didn't take any action on them.
very good.
It's really the ordinances that you need to take action on, if you want to do them.
Make a motion.
All right, so I make a motion to approve, ordinance number 966, accepting bid for the sale of 701 West Olive, Brian and Susan McQuaid for $4,000.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Roll call.
Han,
Wait, did you have it?
I thought Larry was going to say.
Larry, do you have something?
I didn't know if you wanted the background there. I put in my city manager's report.
Yes.
There was a question about the expenses attached to this. Keep in mind that both of these properties that you're going to vote on tonight, whether to accept the bid or not, were done through court action. However, for this, we're evidently going to accept or not accept a bid of $4,000. Our legal fees and times in court and stuff total $6,619 today. So for getting this house, which is eventually going to be flipped and put back into usage, and get rid of an eyesore, you've invested approximately $2,619. So that's not too bad, guys, when you're talking about an ordinance violation. So just so you know.
Any questions?
This gets us out of it, we're done with this.
We'll have there will be some title work and stuff, but that'll be minimal, but I can't put a price on that, so
Is the buyer paying the title work, or are we paying the title work?
we are.
So we're losing $2,500 plus title work.
Correct.
Call it.
Han,
Yes.
Harden,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Testori,
No.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 967, accepting bid for the sale of 702 West Water, Gary Boyles for $2,510.
I'll second it.
Discussion? You got the same note in the city manager's report?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you could publicly state that so that the audience can hear.
Gary Boyles will put in a bid of $2,510. This court case has been going on for practically a year now. This is the house that had burnt some time ago. With our legal fees, time involved and everything, that totals $4,184. So you're out approximately $1,600 in legal fees if you accept this bid. And there will be, again, a little additional to that because we don't know what title work's going to cost.
Any discussion?
And the same thing's gonna be done to this property, Gary, you know.
Yeah, I'm ready to go mow it right now if I get 3 yeses.
It's going to put the house back into use, so we're actually, instead of tearing it down, which was an option, Gary and Brian McQuaid want to flip these houses and put them back into usage.
Are you willing to pay the title work on them?
Listen to you.
Sir, this one's an eyesore. Thank you for investing in our community. Call it.
Harden,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Testori,
No.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Han.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Please don't give him a ticket, Paul Crass. We move to section 3, new business.
Make a motion resolution 2016-20, Pharmacy Raceway, $2,000 donation for the July 1st, 2016 fireworks.
I'll second it.
Any discussion?
We give a donation, or we have had history of giving a donation for several years now. I spoke with Lance Speaker about a week ago, and he again had asked if we were going to be able to make that donation, so it's back on the books. So.
Any que-
Local citizens are allowed in for the fireworks, right?
Yes, I believe it's like
Same
after
as last.
8:30.
After 8:30, we stop charging. It's a fan appreciation night, we only charge $5 to begin with for the whole night. But any resident or anybody who wants to come in just for fireworks after 8:30 is free.
And it's in the budget.
Yes, this comes out of the hotel motel fund.
Okay.
Any discussion? Call it.
Kelly,
Yes.
Testori,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Han,
Yes.
Harden.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2016-21, Pharmacy Raceway, $3,000 donation for the Junior Kimler Memorial Race.
Second it.
Discussion?
We did this last year too, right?
Yes, last year.
What was the fruit?
Excuse me?
The fruit from that
What was the
investment?
benefit?
What was that?
How many late models and modifieds did you have? Do you think it helped as far as,
Definitely helps. Every time you up a purse like that, it brings out something more, not just cars, but fans in town. And as far as proof, I guess I didn't bring that with me tonight, but definitely I can do that the next time. It brings, we average probably, with the front gate, back gate, we average 800 to 1,000. And on that night, we probably double that, at least. So.
and will this be the total for the late models is 3, or is it?
It's 5,000 to win for the late models. As far as the purse goes, the purse will be about a $22,000 purse. So this is just kind of helping us make sure we don't lose our butt. So, and putting this on, and Canis Furniture, obviously, with Junior Kill Memorial, they throw in $1,500 as well. And it's, family tradition, city tradition kind of thing that I think helps out quite a bit, so.
Very good. Any questions?
It's in the budget.
Comes out of administrative line, yes.
We have it.
Yes.
Call it.
Testori,
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Harden.
Yes.
Harden.
Yes.
Kelly.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you for all you do, appreciate it. Go to section 4, other items, city manager's report.
Just got a couple things here. The chief of police and myself attended a couple of exploratory meetings down in Decatur between several different entities, different counties, about a centralized dispatch center. It appears as momentum starts to gain that it will become a reality. As more information continues to come out of these meetings, I'll keep you guys abreast. As it's been discussed, it looks like there could be a substantial savings to the police budget for their dispatching services. After the last meeting, we talked about the development of a playground out at the Prairie Ridge subdivision. I had a brief meeting with Susan Wilson, and in that meeting it was discussed to bring in some of the residents from the subdivision, and I see one resident is out there tonight that's going to host a meeting at her residence to discuss the playground and try to come up with some ideas. I provided you guys with a list of the extra services that the departments provided for Heritage Days. It just gives you an idea of anything above and beyond the $10,000 cash that you give them. We're working with the new owners of the grocery store with some energy assistance. They're wanting to change the entire store to LEDs inside the store and outside the store. They'd like to get that accomplished before they have a grand reopening, so hopefully we can get something going with them pretty quick. And the water main construction is scheduled to start this week between Bluebell and Penn and Southwell out of Prairie Ridge. So that's what I've got for you tonight.
Any question to the city manager and his report?
I briefly talked to Susan, and she just needs a dollar amount.
And I gave her a dollar amount, so. And that was just an idea on the dollar amount, because you guys will have to approve it, so.
Any other questions to the city manager's report?
Oh, and gentlemen, that just saw that the guys tried to go out there and mow that again today. This is why I said a couple months ago that the ground's going to have to be froze, because they made 4 passes out there and buried the tractor. So it's going to remain wet because it's so overgrown that it cannot dry down. And it's not going to dry down until it's mowed. So that's part of the idea that the ground's got to be froze to get out there. So
I did go out there and look at that drainage pipe that comes down to that road that goes to the tire, and it's very possible it could be clogged a little. It looks old to me.
the guys got down there, Mac, probably 2 months ago now. It's wide open. So it's just poor design.
It looks like there's about a 2 or 3 foot tile looking back up in there, what I can see in here.
We'll get it mowed and get a better idea, but it's got to, conditions have to be a little different. So,
Anything else to the city manager's report? Any non-agenda items, other business?
Did we get that DNR permit yet? Has anything?
no, I haven't gotten the elevations back from Farnsworth Creek yet, so
We need to discuss the goings on the past couple weeks, PR and vandalism.
Okay.
What is going on with that?
Chief's here if you had a question for him. I mean,
Well,
did you want a briefing or?
yes.
Chief, would you like to speak to him?
What is your question again, sir?
I'm trying to determine what the accurate situation was with what went on last week. We've all discussed that Facebook's kind of out of control. There's lots of rumors going on. The newspaper has published an article saying they're not getting information. So what are we doing? What is going on?
Did you happen to see the press release that was put out?
Today?
No, regarding the incident on the 7th. Let me read it to you just to refresh your memory.
All right, please.
The 7th was the incident
On June 7th, press release was put out that on Friday, June 3rd, 2016, Farm City Police Department apprehended a 15-year-old Farm City male for criminal trespass. Subsequent to the apprehension, it was determined that the juvenile had also entered a vehicle without permission, causing damage to the vehicle's interior. Officers conducted a station adjustment pending formal review by the DeWitt County State's Attorney. The juvenile was released to his parents. That's all the information that I can give you on that.
What is a station adjustment?
It is the way that we handle juvenile cases, sir.
I understand you have a lot of discretion. I mean, is it a procedure, is it a policy, is it?
No comment.
Okay. No comment.
The station adjustment, what is that though? Just a state
Procedure.
A station adjustment. I have no clue. I mean, I'm only going to put my 2 cents in here, Andy, and I don't know that you can cast the blame at, or where the blame should be cast. Probably the parents. But we need to do whatever it is we can do legally. And I've heard we've kind of babied the situation. This is rumor. I don't know. But there's a lot of upset people in town, and we need to do whatever we can. And maybe we are. I don't know, because you can only tell us so much. I don't know.
Can you tell us if he was caught in 2 separate incidents on the same night?
I'm not discussing other incidents, sir.
Okay. I think we need to come up with some way not to stonewall the public too,
Yeah, we did.
because that's what we're doing here, we're stonewalling us. I've submitted, I put out the idea of doing a police audit through the Illinois Police Chiefs Association to find out if our department operates within the norms of a police department. I'd like to see us move forward with that.
Are you guys satisfied with what we just now found out?
I don't know what we found out. I mean, I believe that they're doing everything they can, and I know that they can't tell us a lot, but it is.
It's frustrating when
It's-
you have people come to you and say, "What are you doing?" And say, "I don't know."
We need some sort of PR mechanism to get what information that can be put out accurately and quickly.
I think if you put stuff out, gentlemen, on a website, and as a gentleman spoke in public comment earlier, is that it changes so fast that it's going to be old information by the time a lot of people see it. So I don't know a speedy way to get it out to people, Scott. We can put it out there. We can use the city's website and put out hotspot information or whatever, without getting into a lot of details, because there's just stuff that the police should not release, but to keep people informed. But I think it's going to be old by the time you come home from work. It's old information.
I'm not even talking about hotspot information. I'm talking about about the fire that's been going on for 2 weeks now. People speculating about what's going on, and speculating is a good word, without knowing any facts, because nobody has put any facts out. Not even simple facts.
Yeah, and I don't want to get in too deep, but when all that was going on, even if you put out good, honest information, then by the time it was done, it was twisted and distorted that, and you can see why people don't want to get involved in some of the conversations, so.
Well, my basic concern was if the same guy's picked up twice in the same night, the first adjustment I can understand, the second one I don't.
Yeah, and I don't know about that, so.
All right, we'll let you work on
Something out there
that.
with information might be, there's stuff that people don't find out for 2 or 3 days. At least if we had someplace to put something, it's up to them to check it out, obviously, but at least it's there.
I would think that at the very least, and I'll just speak to the hotspot. I love the hotspot idea. I just think that we put it out there, but there's activity, criminal activity that occurred yesterday evening, and at least people can know that it's occurred.
But what do we do to get this to stop? That's the thing.
What do we do?
Everybody's part of this town.
Yeah, I mean, from the city council's perspective, we're a legislative body. We pass a law that says we don't like it twice as much as what we already said.
Well, what we do as a legislative body is we hold Larry accountable, he holds Andy accountable, Andy holds his officers accountable.
Agreed.
And we're not doing that.
What do you mean we're not?
Have we had any curfew arrests or anything? Probably can't comment on that, but
I can't answer that question because I don't have information to answer.
we do have a curfew,
That is correct.
and that's for people under the age of 18.
Yes.
And that goes from,
Under the
what are
age
the
of
times?
17.
What are the times on
10
that?
o'clock during weekdays.
10 to what?
6 a.m.
10 to 6? Okay.
If you read the News Gazette over the weekend, you'll see where Champaign, Urbana, and Danville, I believe it was on the front page, where they had beefed up their curfew ordinances, but there was no monetary penalty that goes with it. And so they have, those towns are large enough to have court services and juvenile officers, facilities, and everything to deal with those situations that we just don't have. So I don't know what the correct way to...
Help me understand accountability. On this. What have they done wrong?
I don't know, so far I haven't got any.
So that's not an accountability issue. That's at least the conversation I had with them. I just don't see that there was anything that they've done wrong. I don't understand the judicial system, and why aren't these kids being punished or anything like that? But at least I'm hearing from them, when we bring them, there is the catch and release program that we currently have with juveniles.
Well, it's not necessarily, when I talk to the state's attorney, if the paperwork is pushed through, they can be detained in McLean County. It's true, DeWitt doesn't have a detention facility, but DeWitt has reciprocal agreements with McLean County.
So
when I talk to the juvenile officer over there, he says it's all in how you word the report. So I haven't had the conversation you had.
Well, I've said it in my public statement, and I'll say it again. I believe that the perpetrators need to be stopped with any and all legal means, and if there is a way that we can enforce or encourage them to stop this activity, I'm all for it. So, whatever that may be. And I would encourage our city to be looking into whatever means we can do to stop these kids. obviously they don't have the cognitive ability to realize what kind of damage they're doing to this community. So if there was any type of force we could put behind that, you got my vote. So, but on the same note, I think our police department gets beat up for doing their job, and I think they're smarter than me. I've proved how stupid I am when it comes to saying stuff. So, I stand by the department, and again, it's got to be a crappy job when they're doing their job. They're getting bitched out because they're on the highway or they're trying to enforce a stop sign law. Then next thing you know, when they're not omnipresent, they're getting bitched at because they weren't omnipresent. And then, like I said, it's going to happen again. So I don't understand accountability. I don't understand that at all. So, just my thoughts. Obviously, if there's some sort of audit program, I'm not going to throw that under the bus. I mean, I believe that our police department would stand up against any testing on that. So that is something that if you want to continue, if we should explore, then I'm not going to stand it.
I'm not condemning the police department or the actions, but I can't work with no comment.
Andy, what happens when they get caught after curfew?
Situation, we take them in custody, we bring them up to the police station, we release them to their parents.
There's no
Is there a fine or anything?
Report is sent to the state's attorney makes the determination.
Do we need a fine in Farm City?
Yeah.
Then what, then let's do it. Do we pass an ordinance, is that legal?
Well, our ordinance is a law.
You can, yes.
Okay. Okay. I know there's a lot of legal things and I don't know about it.
And are we going to be able to collect it? That's the other thing.
We can put it on the power bill. Oh, wait, we can't do that. Stop it.
Yes, please don't do that.
I would like to see that. I'd like to see whatever penalties that we can, and I could talk to you privately about this idea of can they go to McLean, or is there any detention center? Is there a way to get them into a detention center? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I don't expect you to comment on that publicly. It amazes me how some punks can just tear this town up. So. Thank you for your work. I'm just
Sorry, I missed that. We need to do that.
Any other non-agenda items and other business? I do have one. Well, I had a resident speak to me about the slide at Weedman Park. Was it a year or two ago that, I don't know, that slide at Weedman Park, the metal slide at Funland, has been dented in, or what have you. I'd like to, as we're having an individual come in to give us a cost to put a new playground in our subdivision, I'd also like to get a cost of a new slide here. And we had a resident whose child was on it, slid down that, hurt themselves. So I went out there and looked at the slide. There is damage to the slide, so we want to protect our citizens, probably to the point that if we have a resident hurting themselves, we need to take a good look at it. If there is an issue, we just need to pull it until we get a new slide in. Any thoughts on that? You can take a look at it, it's at Weedman Park. So
Needs to be safe.
Oh, absolutely.
It's got to be safe.
Absolutely, so, very good. Any non-agenda items, other business? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Call it.
Dickens?
Yep.
Hans?
Yes.
Harden?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Testori?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, gentlemen.